Oh boy, finally the RTR 204V. I've been waiting for this motorcycle for a long time and finally getting hands to this. So as usual, I ride it for some time and stop somewhere and talk about this motorcycle. Actually, the seat height is just right for me, okay, being 169 centimeter high. So if you see, if my left leg is completely planted, my right leg is slightly tiptoeing, and vice versa. I mean, I don't say it's high for me, it's way well manageable, but just telling that for a person like me, it is like that. Race edition 2.0. And if you see, even though I'm not a tall person, my leg has more space over here. That means tall rider will be able to sit on this motorcycle comfortable. I'm actually sitting almost upright if I'm sitting on the sweet spot of this seat. Oh boy, the clutch feel is so light, okay, it's so light. Definitely this is gonna make to be a very good city motorcycle because it's light, and in this kind of all city traffic you could just stay as many number of hours you want. Gearbox is actually pretty good. It's not clunky. I mean, for a lighter note, I feel that this is way comfortable than the 160. I mean the RTR 164V that I rode last week. It handles so smooth, man. I feel like it has the right amount of power looking at this segment to ride it in the city. Yeah, definitely it's not as powerful as an Duke 200 or an RC 200, but certainly this has good amount of torque in the low end. You see this? I'll be showing you a pure exhaust note of this motorcycle. You're gonna enjoy it, definitely. By the way, I'm riding the carbureted variant now. F5 variant is not yet available, so once it's available I'll be riding it. This motorcycle has the ABS and the slipper clutch that you generally don't see in this kind of a motorcycle or in this segment. Okay, let's take it a bit harder now. Well, that's a good test for the slipper clutch. Yeah, it works really fine. I almost dropped from a higher rev to the second gear. I mean, I didn't had any tire lock. Wow. Oh boy, look at the styling, man. Okay, let's get into the review then. Let's start with the brake. So the brakes are amazing actually. I don't have any complaint. It's altogether a good braking system which is installed on this motorcycle. Now as riding, what I saw is that the brake is progressive. It doesn't bite you just like that, like a snake bite, but it has a good feel and it is bringing down the motorcycle very quickly also. The riding comfort is actually good. So the one thing is, short riders who are below 165 centimeter tall will have a bit kind of a problem in handling this motorcycle. Not handling actually, to sit on the motorcycle. As always, it's not the height which decides how you ride a motorcycle, and tall riders gonna enjoy this motorcycle definitely, man. I mean, I was sitting here and tall riders has enough leg room here. Actually, you could grab the tank well on this motorcycle. The rider triangle is absolutely spot on, so it has upright kind of a riding posture. And to talk about the pickup, actually it picks up really well, but you cannot compare it with an RC 200 or a Duke 200. But certainly it has that power to filter through the traffic. It has some amount of dominance on the general traffic that you see, mostly the 150cc commuterish motorcycles. I don't know the power figures of the RS200. Probably I felt that this motor is a bit more refined than the RS200, definitely. And it has some amount of vibration when you take it to the red line and all. So that's all. Otherwise, no vibration that you feel. Actually the vibration is not onto the handlebar or onto the seat, but you feel some amount of vibration over here on the foot peg. So but that's onto the red line, man. Nobody rides a motorcycle in that area all the time, but it's sweet. The engine is sweet, just speaks very well. Downshifts are awesome, man. I'll make you hear the exhaust note in a different video, complete dedicated video for that. Just wait for it. Now let's talk about the beautiful part of this motorcycle, the gearbox and the clutch. So the clutch feel is very light. It's super light, and the gearbox is precise, very precise. I didn't had any false neutral. Not only on false neutrals, actually the shifts are pretty good, in the sense it shifts accurately with these kind of a boot. And probably with a normal shoe or a chappal you will be able to shift properly. You don't need to wear a boot all the time, but make sure that you wear a shoe at least for your own safety purpose. And the slipper clutch, I actually tried to shift down from third gear to the second gear at a higher RPM and a higher speed, and I didn't face any kind of a rear tire lock. So that means the slipper clutch is working absolutely brilliant. I mean, what else you can ask on a 200cc motorcycle, man? You have ABS and slipper clutch. Those are the two things that you could ask in a commuterish motorcycle. Even the ABS you don't find in an R15 version 3. Now let's talk about the mirrors. Actually the mirrors are always just like you see on any other Apache, which is decently visible. So a person like me who is lean is able to see everything on this mirror, so that's understandable. So someone who has broad chest will be having a slight difficulty in using these mirrors, otherwise no problem. And as you saw when I was taking the U-turn, it's pretty nimble to take a U-turn. You don't feel any kind of weight coming onto any of your legs or onto your arms, and also taking a U-turn is also not at all a problem. So in terms of rideability, excellent choice. And let's talk about the heating issue now. I just got some patch of road. In the sense, you might be thinking that I'm just making up all these things. Definitely not. Actually this place is somewhat quiet from that area which is complete traffic. So after coming through there was a lot of traffic over there. I actually love to ride the motorcycles in traffic also to get the feel. So today I'm wearing a thin pant. The reason is because it is summer, so even after wearing a thin pant and riding it in traffic for 10-20 minutes, I find the rotor is not giving much heat onto my leg, and all. Not much heat, not at all any heat onto my leg. So that means the heat dissipation is also good. Now let's talk about the suspension. So the suspension is actually slightly stiffer, don't get me wrong. This suspension could soak up the unevenness or the potholes or the unexpected humps on the road. It's slightly stiffer, which gives you good control over the corners. That's what I liked. So the rear suspension is much onto the softer side. It is doing its best to give the rider a good and a comfortable ride. So let's talk about the tire. The tire is actually okayish kind. I'm a sports motorcyclist, so I always like to go with sticky tires like Metzeler's or Pirelli. So this tire is okayish for me, but TVS has already told that you will get a Pirelli tire for this. So that means with the race edition you will be able to enjoy this motorcycle on the track very well. And probably TVS is telling not to use the Pirelli tires on road is because we have hell lot of puncture traps, nails and all sort of debris on the road, man. So I mean, Pirelli tires are not so economic to take it on the road when you consider the cost of this motorcycle. It's a bit expensive, and on road Bangalore this comes for 1,15,000. And to talk about the mileage, actually this gives you around 35 to 38 kilometer per liter. That's what it is, a feedback from the customers. Okay, I got it from the service center, and the service cost is around 1.5k once in 3,000 kilometers. Now let's talk about the wind blast and the things. Actually this looks good, but in the sense, if you want to make this as a tourer, you could possibly change this visor to a bigger one, which gives you much more wind protection. This actually aesthetically it is good, but technically and practically not that much great. But always you could go and have an aftermarket windshield for your touring purpose. And let's talk about the build quality. Build quality also looks good, and I don't have any complaints. You look at the motorcycle, nothing left undesigned or left vaguely designed, so that means build quality is also good. Let's look at the Speedo here. So what all things you get a gear position indicator, lap timer is there, a lot many other stuffs, man. whatever you can imagine, you have everything over here. So I mean, I'm not good with all those stuffs which you see on the Speedo. Basically, I am happy with 2 trip meters and a gear position indicator. I don't I don't look for all the lap timers. It's all like that gimmicks that TVS could give you, but it's an additional feature. What I want to tell is that the Speedo has everything that you could ask for. Now let's talk about the engine refinement. As I told, the engine is very much refined in the lower and the mid RPMs, but when it climbs to a higher RPM, it gives a slight bussy feel overall in that area. Other than that, it's a wonderful engine. And to talk about the power delivery, it is actually a linear power delivery. It doesn't intimidate you. That means a beginner rider also could swing his legs onto this beast and ride it just like that. Okay, so now it's my time to do the Pillion seat review. So as you see, the Pillion seat is wide enough and these grab rails. Okay, right now I'm sitting on the Pillion seat and holding the grab rail. So even though I'm thin, what I feel is that my hands are actually touching my butt. That means the grab rail will be touching the butt of a fluffy person. It is not so much cringe, or I feel that my legs are much more resting and relaxing. So the Pillion also will be enjoying the ride, even if you are considering it for touring purpose. I mean, look at the beauty, man. Now I actually love the way this motorcycle looks. So let's get on to the motorcycle, ride for some time. Let me just try testing the slipper clutch once again, and I'll give it back. I mean, definitely, no doubt, this is the best sounding 200cc motorcycle that you could buy in India. See, these areas and all, it doesn't give any vibration. Yeah, slight vibration here. It's almost red line, that's the reason. Beautiful. Allowed to downshift on this RTR series, man. Beautiful motorcycle. And I know that many people are waiting for a rev matching video. Soon I'll be doing it. I'm just looking for the right motorcycle to do it, but soon I'll be doing it. Until then, let's enjoy this motorcycle. Alright, one point I see here now is that it has 5 gears, so it would have been wonderful to have a 5th gear. So well, that's the only one con or an update that which I could tell to TVS. Other than that, this motorcycle is 10 out of 10 from my perspective. So that's it with this video, guys. So if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, do let me know. If you love this video, please show your loves in the form of likes and comments. And if you don't like this video, please let me know why you didn't like. It helps me in growing. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.